None of you know me, but hi, I'm Lily Grace. I'm here to help mainly Gen Z, but other generations too that have trauma that they never really got help on. Trauma can be a really difficult thing to get help on because, not everyone's gone through it. But coming from someone that has gone through it, which is me, I'll get into that in a little bit, I hope to help you help yourself get out of a really bad situation. So I guess we'll start from the beginning of my story, which is kind of why we're here. But I am the second youngest sibling of 4. We all have different dads. I've never met my mother. My brother has. I heard I look a lot like her. I don't know really how to feel about that, coming from someone that I don't, know. Someone I wish I knew, but I don't. It's kind of difficult dealing with that. But she was the one that left me. I didn't leave her. So I went to stay with my biological grandmother. She was divorced to my grandfather, so he had shared custody over me. He would get me every other weekend, and I stayed with him and my father, my biological father. Staying with them went downhill very, very quickly. I stayed with them till I was about 5 or 6 years old, and in that little bit of time, as long as I can remember, my grandfather sexually abused me. And when I told people about it, my grandmother believed me, thankfully, and she got me out of there. But my dad didn't believe me. He left and he didn't talk to me for multiple years. And that really hurts. Like, a lot. But I've learned to just go with the flow. It's life, it's gonna hurt. Nothing's rainbows and sunshine and all that. Which I'm sure if you're here, a lot of you know that. I went to Child Advocacy Center, which is help for children like me that went through what I went through. And they helped me a lot because then I learned how to talk about what was wrong with me. But, well, I say talk about what was wrong with me, but they did kind of mess up there because instead of talking about what was wrong with me and how to fix that, they kept talking about stuff like, you need to learn how to make boundaries. You need to learn how to make boundaries. You need to learn how to establish boundaries. As if I didn't already have boundaries. I had boundaries. They just got crossed. And so, hearing that coming from my, I guess we could call her a therapist. Hearing that coming from my therapist, it didn't feel good. It felt like it was my fault because I didn't establish boundaries. But it's quite the opposite. I established boundaries. He didn't listen to them because, he's into children because that's very sick and messed up. But what I've learned from this is that through the years, this is why it's so hard for Gen Z. Through the years, everyone's built up trauma and not gotten help for it. And now, it's passed down to Gen Z, and we're trying to get help for it. And then we just get called weak. You're weak if you're a man and you cry. You're weak if you're a woman and you want to talk about things that has happened. You want to talk about your feelings. You're weak, is what society says. Well, I'm here to say, let it out. Cry. It's not gonna hurt. society has this messed up way of thinking. Men can't cry. You're weak if you cry. You're weak if you show any feelings. You're weak if you establish boundaries. You're teasing if you flirt with a man but then deny him when he wants to make inappropriate moves on you. Because yeah, flirting means consent. Yeah, you know, absolutely. That's messed up as well. But, you know, I'm here. Vent, let it out. I'm here. Think of me as that one friend that you want to vent to. And I'll answer as many of them as possible. I can answer them publicly in this podcast right here, or I can answer them privately. Just private messages. And I hope to show you how God helped me and how He can help you. That is my entire goal for this podcast, is to show you how to get help from God, because He brought me a long way. He brought me a long way. It's crazy now when I look back at it, and you know, 8 years old, and I didn't want to be alive. Yeah, you know, that's not, you know, it took me a while to realize that's not normal. That nobody else really, they're not supposed to go through that. They're not supposed to think that way at 8. And, you know, I had to fake a smile for a lot of my childhood. But, like I said, God has brought me a long way. I don't have to fake smiles anymore. I can show my emotions freely and, you know, not feel bad or feel guilty when I show them. So I will be, you can add a comment or something to this if you want any advice that I can give you based on how God has helped me. That's the whole point of this podcast, is to help others find help in God so that they can help themselves get out of a really bad place. And I hope, you know, that this helps. I hope that this is a safe place for you with whatever you're going through. Whatever you're going through, whatever you've been through. Well, if you've been through it, you're still going through it, because, you know, it doesn't just stop. You're constantly needing help. But I hope that this is a safe haven for you. Anyway, goodbye.